Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion and the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Over there, you can find a description of the day's astrology as I've spelled it out here. Here, I will discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'll play another card that, in the context of today's astrology, may give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Six of Cups, and it's here because it correlates in astrology to the second 10 days or the second decan of the sun's transit in the land of Scorpio. So Scorpio is our fixed water sign, and Cups and Tarot are water element symbolism as well. And water element symbolism is about our emotions and our intuitions, okay? How things feel when we have experiences, how they feel to us. What is the sensation that arises in our body? What is the information that comes up about ourselves and about the situation? What are the questions that come up for us? There's a whole bunch of stuff that comes up with a simple emotion, and it's important to be able to sort of investigate the whole thing. So we come to the Six of the Cups, and this is meant to be a point of like reverie or fond reminiscence of a time before. Perhaps it's a memory of an old relationship, somebody who befriended us in a time when we needed a friend, or it's just a memory of a time and a place that we can return to that makes us feel very happy. This card could indicate that somebody from the past is going to come in and try to make contact with you. It could also just indicate that you might be given reason to go back to a place or to recall in your memory a place and time, that felt pretty happy for you. So, all that comes with the caveat of illusion because we're dealing with water element symbolism. Sometimes, we don't see clearly when we look back into the past. Sometimes, our brain fills in the gaps of the things that we don't remember. And, so we have to take our fond memories with a grain of salt, and that doesn't mean that we can't have them. But, it does mean that other people might not remember things the same way, and, we can be accepting of that. And also, not to get so lost in your reverie, not to get so lost in the joy you feel in remembering these times that you can't come to understand or accept or realize the truth of things as they are around you now. Okay, let's not get totally blinded to the present by looking at the past. And with that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn this card over. We got the Four of Wands, friends. Okay, so Wands and Tarot represent fire element symbolism, and fire is the element that is about our spark, our drive, our determination, what inspires us, what gets us active in the pursuit of something that we would like to achieve, right? And I often refer to wands themselves as somewhat being like trophies or just sort of emblems of achievement, right? So here we are at the Four of Wands, and as emblems of achievements go, now we've got a few of them under our belt, right? There are two people standing in the middle there, and we see the Four Wands sort of creating like a gateway, maybe, with a garland wreath across the top. So it looks like a celebration of sorts, right? Like we're stepping through this garlanded opening, and I see them walking away from the city and sort of out into the garden or the park or wherever they are. And so, it's sort of a little, it's a retreat from the everyday. It looks like a celebration. Traditionally this would be a celebration like after a harvest, like after we've done a lot of hard work and sought to make something big happen, then we can all get together and enjoy the fruits of our labor and have a celebration. So that's the Four of Wands. Sometimes with this card, I see a marriage, or perhaps a marriage proposal, but this could also be a celebration like a graduation, a birthday, especially a birthday after having like won a big battle, having won something in court, or, just, I would almost say New Year's, but these people are dressed for spring or summer, right? So maybe it's March and it's the new it's the spring equinox or something. Anyway, we're passing through a gateway, and we are having a celebration based on efforts that we have made together. And the 4 really represents structure. Okay, it's a very Saturn-like energy. Think of the 4 legs of a chair, and how without all 4 legs, it cannot stand as well. So, that's, that is, celebration is a form of fire element symbolism. Our desire to just take joy in the present moment after we have put a lot of effort and work into something is definitely a fiery disposition. And, it can bring about a lot of creativity and a lot of joy. And it can really remind us, how grateful we are that we remained determined the way that we were. And with that said, I'm going to look here. Well, and of course I have to mention, Mars in Gemini, because you've got the fire, the king of fire here. the ruler of Aries is Mars. The king of fire here sitting in Gemini, and Gemini just looks like that same gate sort of thing. So, Mars is currently retrograde in Gemini. There are a few other retrograde planets here too: Uranus, Chiron, Jupiter, and Neptune. Mars just went retrograde a little bit ago and will be retrograde through January. So through like midway through January. So, here we are in this mode of, our initiative has sort of gone backwards. So our sense of initiative has slowed us down. It's made us think about the work that we're doing and how we are doing it. And, I didn't get this trine in here. There is a trine here between Saturn and Mars. The work that we're doing is really blessed and really likely to come to completion and build something solid for us right now. So, that's kind of where we're at. If we've done some work and then we come to this point of completion, we can have a little celebration, right? And it's okay to slow down, and it's okay to take some pleasure and entertainment and joy in life before we get right back to our work, right? So, let's have a little celebration. Let's enjoy the fact that we get to slow down. And while we are slowed down, we get to also sort of reflect and review how we approach doing the work that we do, and what we would like to do differently about that, right? We can change up our approaches at this time. We can be thinking twice. We can be taking 2 different ideas in mind, or we can be taking 2 different approaches to things. We have to have a lot of patience at this time, so it's a great time to have a little celebration, just to be patient and watch things unwind and unfold. And then I also want to say that Saturn is here, because the 4 reminds me of Saturn as well. Saturn is here in Aquarius, another air sign. Gemini, Aquarius, both air signs, right? So Saturn, in Aquarius speaks to our sense of commitment and responsibility when it comes to our community, our collective, the groups that we're in. That includes our families. It includes our friend groups. It includes our neighborhood groups, our communities, and, even on the national level, the groups that we're in. So, we really want to be, Saturn went direct recently, and it said, now is the time to get to work. Whatever review you made for yourself of how you were taking care of your commitments to your community, now is the time to get to work. It's been sort of a sobering realization that, like, okay, now I really have to get involved and do this stuff. And hey, today is November 8th. Today is voting day. So, our responsibility to our commitment is first and foremost on my mind today. Please get out there and vote and make your voice heard at this time. Saturn is trying to Mars at this time. I'm sorry I didn't make the line there. But so that's Gemini and Aquarius working together cooperatively right now. It's really all about the work that we're willing to do, what we're willing to expend of ourselves, of our time, of our bodies, of our resources, in order to create that security for ourselves and for the people around us in our collectives and our communities. And I'm going to put these 2 together. We have a 6 of Cups and a 4 of Wands. So that's almost like, that's almost like collaborating on a book with somebody about your shared history and coming to the end of it and getting it published. It's a lot like doing work to reconcile the past, which I know a lot of us have been working on, especially in the last 2 weeks between these two eclipses, right? Doing the work to sort of reconcile our attitudes toward the past, to be a little bit happier with ourselves, to be a little bit more forgiving of who we are, who we were at times when we were uncertain or anxious and didn't know, didn't quite show up the way we would like to have shown up, right? We've been doing a lot of work to try to reconcile that, and so we might be passing through this gate with this lunar eclipse on full moon in Taurus, where we say, okay, now I've let those things go, and I can make this fresh start in my life. Thinking really only like giving thought, giving love to myself, and in the present and the past and in the future, and sort of resolving any differences or any confusions that we have had about the past. And I'll say also, when it comes to having something to celebrate, that can just even be getting back together with somebody that you haven't seen in a long time, or coming back home when you haven't been home in a long time. Like getting back to where you feel comfortable and accepted and loved and taken care of when you haven't been there in a while, or when you had to work to get back there. Then you can have this celebration. You can say, okay, I have this structure and stability. Let's enjoy a little bit of the fruit of our labor before we move on. Okay, friends, I think that's all I have to say about it today. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your presence here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.